Welcome to a special midweek edition, early bird special for 545 Live. I'm Will and Boyd, and I'll be taking you through the next jam-packed 15 minutes as we piece together this midweek report. We'll start by talking about this weekend's gun show here in Brattleboro, which was jam-packed, 30-minute wait. We'll also talk about the Voices for Fukushima event over the weekend, commemorating that sad anniversary. And we'll talk about why Senator Patrick Leahy and Bernie Sanders for Vermont are among many senators protesting the ranking of a new military medal. We'll talk about all that and plenty more, including our 7-town summary, looking at what's going on in the municipal happenings of towns in our surrounding region. All that and more, so stick with us right here on 545 Live. Welcome back to this March 12th, 2013 midweek edition of 545 Live. We're doing an early bird special here with the sun behind us as we look out over downtown Brattleboro. That's footage from last weekend's Vermont Gun Show at Brattleboro's Quality Inn, where a record turnout forced waits as high as 30 minutes just to gain entry. This follows the countrywide trend set in motion by the killings at Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut last year. And with gun sales rocketing less than 24 hours after the story broke, and now spurred on by continuing uncertainty surrounding gun policy in Washington, gun dealers across the nation, including those licensed right here in Vermont, say sales show no signs of slowing down. All right, we'll move on and harken back to a story on Friday's 545 Live, where we dedicated close to 300 of the 900 seconds allotted to us in that 15 minutes to the victims of tsunami, earthquake, and nuclear meltdown in Japan's Fukushima prefecture. As local residents in Brattleboro gathered over the weekend to honor those nuclear refugees still unable to return to their homes by adopting a sister town in Japan, Brattleboro's was the town of Namie. And who else but tireless BCTV volunteer Maria Dominguez was there to capture the dedication on video.
Solidarity on the paper that we have here.
I used to work in the disaster place, and I know many people who had to move and evacuate from this disaster after this disaster.
One of the local residents out to honor Fukushima victims this weekend and their permanently vacated towns was Meredith Engwin, head of the Ethan Allen Institute's Energy Education Project, who this week got a dose of the Brattleboro spotlight when the Commons newspaper published her Voices essay entitled "Lawyers Can't Rescue a Weak Case," in which she says, quote, "Vermont isn't out-lawyered by Entergy in the Vermont Yankee suit. The facts simply are not on the state's side." Her article sets the current Second Circuit appeal against the backdrop of the 2010 legislature as it made its move to close Vermont Yankee, a body whose intentions she believes are at the heart of the case and whose concerns with the safety of their constituents and not the financial well-being of the state they serve ultimately is what will forfeit the case to Entergy. You can read Meredith Engwin's full article on how lawyers can't rescue a weak case in the Vermont Yankee story by heading to commonsnews.org. Maybe I'll head us all there right now for just a moment and take a look. Again, commonsnews.org, where you can read their articles. You can, of course, pick up a free paper as well, and you can get all the facts in this story that we're reading from community-minded citizens. Can even purchase a paid subscription, become a community media sponsor, and help keep the paper and its fabulous website going. All right, back into the story as we go. Back into my close-up we go as well. All right, moving on. They may have brought your Christmas season electricity bill down and brought immortality to your flashlight on your keychain, but LED light fixtures are behind big changes across the energy landscape, across the nation and here in Vermont, especially in the case of municipalities, not just in the form of smaller numbers on the utilities budget line item, but in the form of state and federal tax credits as well, something that towns like Jamaica are now hoping to get in on as they attempt to upgrade their aging network of streetlights. At Monday's regularly scheduled select board meeting, the board discussed the impact of a kind of light that would function in an entirely different manner than those powering the street lamps of yore.
We have a responsibility to make some changes.
Right.
But they're not clear, and it's not clear about the cost.
All municipal meetings in our surrounding communities can be viewed in their entirety at your leisure at brattleboro.tv.org and watched 2 clicks up the dial on our government and education sister channel, Channel 10, all those gathered and edited by our new field producer, Rich Melanson, who heads out to Vernon, Guilford, Dummerston, Putney, Newfane, Townsend, and Jamaica to gather all of their select board meetings and all the information contained within them. All right, we'll move on here and head down to Washington to check in with our senators. Working behind a computer may not be the first thing that comes to mind when envisioning a medal-decorated war hero, but in a modern era where computers play a critical role in facilitating military operations, those soldiers behind the most successful of America's cyber operations in the military, including drone operations, are now in a position to receive an honor ranked higher than the Bronze Star or Purple Heart, the Distinguished Warfare Medal. This has prompted a group of Washington lawmakers, including Vermont's Patrick Leahy and Bernie Sanders, to petition Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel to lower the ranking, citing the sacred nature of combat medals. Before a joint hearing of the Senate and Committee of Veteran Affairs last week, VFW Commander-in-Chief Johnny Hamilton minced no words over his organization's feelings on the matter.
Though not yet at your purview, I need to reiterate the VFW's total disagreement with the Pentagon's decision to rank its new Distinguished Warfare Medal in precedence higher than the Bronze Star and the Purple Heart.
Well, moving on, you could consider it a work of art what the Brattleboro Planning Office does, navigating regulations and Brattleboro personalities as they do their work. But it may be more literal than that now, as Brattleboro Core Arts has undertaken a cultural mapping project, or Mapping the Arts, as they've dubbed it. Now, they've been gathering input from local citizens, asking them to come out and share their ideas about Brattleboro's arts and cultural scenes in the form of community workshops, one of which, again, hardworking BCTV volunteer Maria Dominguez was at to gather footage, including some of planning director Rod Francis talking about the project.
It's an exercise in visualizing and establishing the central importance of artistic expression and communication for the community of Brattleboro.
All right. Just a few things to wrap up here. This maybe falls in the shameless self-promotion, though shameless is the word to highlight. We love promoting BCTV here, a bevy of local programming and ways to get involved in your community. All right, so those few things to wrap up here. We were talking about, many of you may have watched the Academy Awards from home this year, but for many local residents who wanted a better reason to get decked out in their top-notch garb, the Latches Theater's showing of the televised ceremony provided the perfect opportunity, with BCTV television personality Deshae Peacock adding her own flavor of celebrity glamour to the evening's red carpet kickoff with a series of interviews produced by Mondo Media Works set to show in their entirety on BCTV all this week. And that's where we're going to start our fancy new split-screen new on BCTV feature with this here series of red carpet interviews, which you can watch on Channel 8, this here channel.
Tell us what you're wearing tonight, darling.
I'm wearing a beautiful gown from the wedding boutique at Taylor for Flowers on Elliott Street in Brattleboro.
And we'll stick right here on Channel 8 for the next piece of our new on BCTV feature with a look at the return of Artists a la Mode. This is a monthly program showcasing musicians, artists, poets, and the like in Brattleboro from producer Catherine Turness. They had the band Electric Fence, which includes the Reformers Howard Weiss-Tisman and often BCTV volunteer Johnny Sheehan on to sing songs all written by them and get a full hour-long broadcast.
You know what I mean.
Just some of the things shown here on BCTV as part of our new on BCTV feature. All right, that should just about do it here, so I will just wrap up with the usual spiel where I thank all the people that make BCTV tick the way it does. Thanks to Johnny Sheehan, who did quite a lot of audio work with Howard Weiss-Tisman of Electric Fence for that Artists a la Mode, which I may just sneak in on our end credits here in just a moment. To content specialist Maria Dominguez, responsible for many of the stories here, and for our field producer Rich Melanson, who not only goes out and films all the municipal meetings in the surrounding area, but takes some excellent copious notes for me so I can go through and take a look at what the stories are, and everybody else that watches 545 Live. Night, everybody.
just in time to see in the sky brightest flash I'd ever seen. My body felt like a rubber band, like it was stretched to a distant land, place where the sky was blue, people walking around saying I love you. I swear the woman took me there and back. I think that she was a lady from Mars. I think that she was a lady from Mars. I think that she was a lady from Mars. Mars, guitars, play the whole song, play right over the form. Check it out. I was reading the National Enquirer the other day, and this dude from Illinois had this to say. He said that he made love to a lady from Mars, but I bought a TV guide instead. Thank you, BCTV.